All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you fucking laughing at. We partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, all that.
Welcome to the 91st episode of the Drinking Partners Podcast. Yes, this is our Kevin Green episode. One of the few Steelers that I actually liked growing up. For reasons I don't know why. Like, everything about him I dislike in itself, but him as a whole was pretty cool. Like, he's just the long, weird hair. He just looked like he drank whiskey before the game, which is probably why I chose him.
Yeah.
His living room probably looked exactly like our setup right now, and his locker room probably looked the same. So shout out to Kevin Green, the only dude who I believe was drunk on the field and performed at a Pro Bowl caliber. Like, he was drunk on the field, and Lawrence Taylor was like super high on the field.
Yeah. He definitely drove a pickup truck.
He definitely drove the pickup truck that he took to prom, like, throughout his whole career. Like, not just any pickup truck.
Yeah, it wasn't like a Lexus pickup truck. He didn't get fancy on you.
He didn't have an F-150. He had something that used to, like, haul hay or some shit like that. Like, there were small animals that was in the bed of that truck at some point.
It was like hay cotton grill.
He was built for it tough. I am half of your hosting tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined, as always, with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you peoples? We are Drinking Partners. If you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook. Under at Partnerspot. And you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners.
We're Googleable.
91 episodes, man. You know. Rate and review, man. Yeah, hop on iTunes, rate and review. It takes you about 30 seconds, you know. That's how we let others know that we're doing well. That's how we continue to do well. And that's how we know what we're doing well. So please, rate and review.
Hey, you love us. You tell us when you see us that you love us. Now just tell the internet. As a matter of fact, you're probably on iTunes listening to this right now.
Right now.
Just segue over to the rate and reviews and take care of that.
You're like a couple buttons away, B. You know what I mean?
Hey, we're coming off, we had a good weekend. A very eventful weekend. We're just coming off of the premiere of the Hard Dentist web series with Alex DePula down at Row House Cinema.
Row House Cinema with the album drop. Dolphins are garbage.
Dolphins are garbage. I don't know what a dolphin is.
Dolphins are garbage, and they are garbage. And you can hear them on what episode was that? Episode
it's got to be like 84 or something like that.
84, 85.
That's my job.
That's
That's
so
my thing. I didn't know you were going to ask that.
But
Episode 84.
84?
I don't know. I just said it, but I'm pretty sure that's
Hard Dentist. Shout out to Alex, man. He just dropped his album. You can catch that on iTunes. What is it? Stitcher. There's a few places he's got. I mean, basically, if you can download shit, you can probably.
He's actually got the
Amazon.
little chips.
Yeah, he's got the Amazon.
He's selling
cards.
the little cards the downloadable cards.
That's the new wave.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you ain't got CDs now. You just got downloadable cards. Like, that's smart.
That was kind of swag of him.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, I see you.
Because nobody even CD, like, you pop it in, you forget that you even have it. Like, it's a CD unless you burn it onto your thing. That's a whole nother step. You know what I mean? Like,
cars are not now being built without CD players, if I'm not mistaken. Like, the newer models don't even have.
I don't know. I mean, I drive a 13 and it has a CD player, but it's not.
Like,
it's not. I don't
they
use
have the
it.
17 now. Like, I think the 16s and 17s,
16,
they're just like
17s,
Bluetooth capable.
Yeah,
it's just like you just put your phone on the dash and then.
Man,
I can't wait till they start putting visual shit. Like, you can look at your nude pictures in your mirror, like your windshield and shit. Just to, you know what I mean? You stuck in traffic and a nude that you got sent. Only from the inside, though. Like, it's not like, it'd be like one of those two-way glasses that they do to interogate people, but you can see.
Yeah, I feel
like,
you.
Pictures
but you trying
shit.
to kill niggas. That's like they already distracted.
You
like, because even when they was like pimping the rides and they got all the TV, and it's like, that's cool if you ain't. Well, I mean, I guess if you got a passenger. Yeah.
Look, so it only comes up on the passenger side of the windshield. All right. And then, like, you could put your whole, like, if you're doing a Google map, like, turn by turn.
Well, they got the heads-up display on, the BMWs and the Mercedes or whatever.
I ain't even looked at a BMW ever. BMW ain't nowhere near my bracket, man.
Well, yeah, they got the little heads up dip. It's like a little hologram type dip on the windshield. So
All right, so now I'm not that crazy. No, I'm just saying, take that hologram and show the picture that
titties,
Shorty sent me the other night.
Some 2D titties.
Like, I don't want it to just pop up soon as she send it. Like, that would be tragic if you just drive it and just Shorty just send you a new picture and it just pop up. Like,
that's death. Right
I'm
there.
saying you got to pull it up. Just
yeah,
while you at the
yeah,
light.
It is. Yeah, I can see
like
that.
It don't come up if you're accelerating.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. You know,
I know you would.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that.
I know you would.
You want me there.
All right, there's gonna be some shit. There's gonna be some safety precautions, and they gotta put the crash test dummy. It's gotta hit the wall, and then you gotta have that weird Chevy commercial where the shit come out the ground and the dude's looking at a nude and it's like whatever. I don't
There's
know.
gonna be a campaign against it. I mean, I already am near death with just like street booty. You know what I mean?
Street
like that,
booty. That's
and that's fully clothed booty. So I don't even want to know.
With all their joggers. Yeah. Summertime, you fucking joggers in your little bitty jogging shorts.
Somebody tweeted out, like this chick tweeted out, she was like, I just pulled over and admired this woman's ass. It was that fine. I was like, that's the difference between men and women, right? Because you were actually like safety first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You pulled over and thought about your life. Like men, we just break necks in cars. Like it just.
I'm generally running late to work, so I'm not pulling over. Like I can't explain that to my manager. Like, hey, why you late? Yo, this fine motherfucking runner. Running down Fifth Avenue.
This
should have seen this ass.
These yoga pants be
killing us. So we had the row house. Then we also had our show down at Goodfellas. It was a good turnout. We appreciate everybody who came out to that.
Truth. Goodfellas down in Swissville, man. They got good food. They had good entertainment there last night or whatever. The drinks were good. They got the Strong Island, which is it'll knock you on your ass, man.
I'm not drinking anything with that many liquors anymore. So I just stuck with the Hennessy. Like once you put a et cetera or a ... when I ask you what's in this drink, it's not for me. Like I gotta get
commas.
Yeah, it's too many. I ain't have a DE. Like I can't. I don't know what. Different liquors can make you feel different ways. I don't be hungry, happy, sleepy, angry, all that.
Definitely mix it. The thing is that like. It's because it's like tequila and rum and triple sec and vodka, but like the rums and all that are still white. So like it's mixing brown and white, but technically not like because it's white. Like
rum is one of those things that can be brown or white.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't like
tequila.
That.
You can have white or brown tequila.
Yeah, see, I'm not like it.
It's all white.
Tequila rum. I'm drinking Hennessy.
Yeah,
it's brown.
Yeah,
it's brown from birth.
What's up? I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, so we had that. Now we got a bunch of the marathon isn't over. We got a bunch of things coming up this week.
Yeah. Well, even today, I mean, before we came in, we just got off of Hoptoberfest 3.
Shout out to Hop Farm.
Hop Farm down there, Hoptoberfest. We sat at the table with Rick Seaback and judged 20 food and beer pairings down there. It's a hard life.
Yeah, it's you guys listen like, oh, you guys complain about nothing. Just have somebody bring you 20 different dishes.
20 different dishes.
And 20 different alcohols.
And it was crazy because like we were hungry before we started. So like, they're bringing fucking fire ass shit and you want to eat it. It's your inclination to finish. There's small portions. It's your inclination to just finish this great beer and this great slice of pizza or whatever the fuck. But you got 20 of these.
Yeah, it's 20. And you know exactly how many you have left coming because you have a worksheet. Like, whenever you're eating with a worksheet, it's real out here.
Yeah.
It's real in the field.
It was good we had Rick Seaback there. I mean, we watched him last year because this is the second year we had done it. We watched him last year. See, last year we didn't know. We just were eating everything.
Yeah.
Eating, drinking everything. We got about 13 in. They were like, yeah, you got about 13 more to go, bro. Like,
yeah.
But this year we a little bit.
I felt like a seasoned vet.
Yeah, I did. Sitting at the table with Seaback, and he's a wealth of knowledge, man. Like he
knows everything.
He really
literally everything.
People come by and like he's so warm and welcoming. He has a story about them and something that relates to their life. Like it's amazing.
He's the epitome of Pittsburgher right now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's what every Pittsburgher aspires to be, just a guy who goes somewhere and just eats good food.
Eats good food.
Sit next to him and take pictures of him.
That's it, man. It's
awesome.
Like if you're a Pittsburgher, you should sit at the table with Rick Seaback at least for 5 minutes.
And you probably know someone in your family.
Truth. He's probably eating at their restaurant.
He's probably could tell you about your lineage. Tell you about the clothes you were wearing, where they were originated, the cloth, the fabric, how it came to be.
The bridge that was next to your house.
What you should eat for breakfast. Shout out to Seaback. Shout out to Hop Farm. A couple more things. We got Hand to God. I don't want to say City. We got Hand to God.
Wednesday
the 28th. Down at
Theater.
City Theater.
Yeah.
And we have Dorothy 6 in Homestead.
29th.
The 29th Thursday. And then Friday we'll be at, is it Pod Crawl out at
Pod Crawl down in the Grist House.
Yeah. So that's going to be cool. And then
shit.
hopefully take a nap.
Yeah. We'll take a nap for a little while. And then November 12th. We've got the Hundo, the 100th episode, man. So it's a beer tasting. There's an hour and a half of beer tasting. We've got Bloom Brew, Apis, Shoe Brew, McLaughlin Distillery,
Full Pint.
Did I say Bloom? Rock Bottom.
Yep, Rock Bottom. We got T-Robe doing comedy. We
Half
got
hour comedy with T-Robe.
We're going to podcast, so we're going to give you guys what you really love. So we're going to podcast. We got guests like John Fetterman, Baron Batch, fucking Rick Seaback. So we get to chill with him again.
Ricky Salvage.
Ricky, pretty Ricky, as I like to call him. Down at the Pittsburgh Playwrights Theater November 12th. Get your tickets online up to October 29th. They're on sale for $15. We're giving you music. We're giving you free booze. We're letting you bring booze. We're bringing you some of the most famous, most interesting people in the city.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to have Fetterman, Seaback, and Baron Batch.
It's for $15 downtown in the City Theater, man. At the Playwrights Theater, man. So, I don't know what else you're doing that night for $15.
You can still do it. I mean, we're going to start at like 7 o'clock. Like, you could still go out and get ratchet.
It's going to be over by 10, though.
Yeah, you can go out and do whatever you want to do.
At the end of it, you can still turn up.
I don't think you should because you'll probably be drinking a lot. But that's your business. But we would love to see you. If you've been a supporter of the podcast, if you've been listening, if you've seen us out, please come down. You know, it's just a celebration of everything we've been able to do, been able to accomplish, and just everybody that's been cool in the city fucking with us. So
yeah, man.
we
2 years in the
support.
game. We appreciate it, man. And you're looking for tickets, it's at purplepass.com/partnerspod100.
Yeah. But before all of that, our marathon continues.
Yes, we've got more drinking to do.
This is probably the most. See, you guys can't see it because this is an audio podcast. You don't see the table that I'm looking at.
Check out our Twitter. Check out our Instagram. Check out our Facebook. You'll see the pictures.
This
of what
is
the fuck
real.
We're about to get into.
This shit just got extremely real for us. Now we just did all those pairings, and now we're gonna have a liquor for every food that we ate down there.
I don't even know how to describe this.
I have no idea.
I don't even know what this podcast is going to turn into.
I don't even know what's about to happen. Hopefully, this gentleman that we brought on, he's really well versed in doing radio and things of that nature because...
Yeah, because you might have to carry it, and we apologize for the next guest that we got to interview after this, and I'm honestly just hoping I can make it to the 100. We over here trying to sell tickets to the 100 episode. We might not make it.
Well, that's why we do that first. I think that's why we do that up front. We do all of our work in the first 15. Then we just hope the guest can carry us. Very excited to have this guest on. I'm very excited to hear his story. We have Christian Simmons from Pennsylvania Libations.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, say what up to the people.
Hello, people.
All
Welcome to Drinking Partners.
Okay, so he's already taking over hosting.
He's in there.
He's saying, listen, he's like, all right, I know I got to assume. He's like, he's ready to
You guys can knock out.
Right?
What'd you say? I get a little nervous about the name sometimes.
It's all on Buffy, man. He's one.
Tell the people who are not familiar with what you do. What is Pennsylvania Libations? Like, it's a different type of thing that I've ever been in.
Yeah, so we, I own it solely. Started about 15 months ago, and it's a sales, marketing, distribution company that only sells Pennsylvania wines, spirits, meads, ciders, and craft beer.
Local love.
So we bring everything from Philly to State College to Erie, up in Kane, PA, way up there, but also from Pittsburgh products as well. So we bring it all to the bars and restaurants, liquor license holders in the city of Pittsburgh, and give them something that they have no way of getting their hands on because none of these products are in the state store system.
Okay. So how did you come up with the concept of this? Did you know someone who was doing this? Or because I always marvel at people who have these, like, you hear this idea, right? It's like, I sell liquor to bars. And you just like, most people, you never even conceive that. Like,
yeah, you don't think about that process.
I think that's where this nation is going now. Like, you think of something that you like to do that you can make money off of, and you figure out how to monetize it. Like, I'm sure growing up, your parents were like, look, man, you drinking a lot. Why don't you just sell the liquor to the bars? Like, nobody tells you that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the getting into this industry was what my start with Four Seasons Brewing Company in Latrobe.
Okay.
That's where I fell in love with not just craft beer, but it was the industry, the people involved in it. It had everything to do with the blood, sweat, and tears. Small business owners, everybody's trying to do whatever they can. And I saw a niche where there wasn't any really good representation for all the small business guys out there, because then most of them had day jobs and they were doing what they were doing, just like I did to start a brewery, 100-hour weeks for 3 years. And so I went through that and I realized that I wasn't the beer maker. I love my marketing. I love the sales. I love the customer relationships and stuff. But so I figured that that's all I want to really do. I don't want to do the manufacturing.
Yeah.
I just want to be the face of all these different companies. So technically right now I'm a brand ambassador for about 13 different manufacturers right now.
Brand ambassador. It's like a cool title. Like when people say they're consultants, but you really don't know what the hell they do.
I get out of speeding tickets all the time for it.
Like, what do you do for a living? I'm in consultation. Like what type of consultation? Like what industry? Just all of it. Brand ambassador. So what were you doing with Four Seasons?
I was the owner, founder.
Okay.
I own 49% of it. And with my business partner there, about 2 years ago, stopped being part of the day-to-day operations.
Okay.
We went full on pub like a month later, and that's when I started this company. I was up in the sticks, way up north. Ran into the owners of CJ Spirits up in Kane. They're my first clients technically. Ran into the owner doing a tasting. I told him what I was good at and what I was doing in Pittsburgh. He asked me if I would sell his product for him, and next thing I know, I start with 3 products. Now I'm over 60, and so that's where it started, and it was hard, man. Nobody wants clear liquids in Pittsburgh. Nobody wants vodka, and I had 2 vodkas and a gin.
Because
Oh shit!
Yeah,
That's
so
tough.
because vodka's vodka.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants their Tito's and sodas.
Yeah.
But the vodkas that I have are all made from locally sourced grains, corn, wheats, rye, all that stuff. So it's all about sustainability within the state. The taxes staying in the state, supporting our school districts, supporting small businesses.
That's what people don't get about supporting local. Like they don't understand microeconomics. Like
Exactly.
it's like you got to keep the money within, instead of importing and bringing in all this bullshit. And even on a small market like a city or a state, like as opposed to just they're like, oh, China, like we kind of we're Pennsylvania, we kind of like maybe we want to look at West Virginia. I don't know, like Colorado, they're fucking making money hand over fist with the fucking weed, man. They said it was like I forget what, it was an insane amount of billions of dollars that they had, in their in tourism or whatever. And they said like the average person stayed like a night or two.
Well, you have to go to Colorado at some point.
It's because
now.
people come through. I mean, they get there. I mean, they out or whatever. And it was funny because they were trying, like the whole article, they were trying to blame it on this marketing thing that the tourist company did. They put like $40 million in like marketing for, and it's like, oh, come to Colorado to ski and this, that, and the other. Like, oh, that's where we're getting this uptick in tourism from from this $40 million we
Come
put
to
in
Colorado
the
to the
advertising.
garden.
Yeah. Word.
Well, it's coming to PA. They're voting on it next November, 2017. I heard through little birdies in the sky that real estate is going to jump off because there's going to be shops popping up everywhere. Every single vape store out there, it's going to be.
Well, they got to get it first. Like if you're a vape store, you got to get some weed
expensive
in
though.
there.
Like it's like $400,000, I think, just for the license, and you have that $5 million cash capital.
Okay, so all the vape shops ain't gonna
That's what I'm trying to do with all this booze. I'm trying to elevate myself.
get you a this 90-year-old woman was like trying to give me stock tips on buying weed stock. It was the funniest conversation because like she didn't want to say it was weed. She just kept calling it a medicinal company. I'm like, what are they? It's just pharmaceuticals. And then she showed me it was just like, yeah, this is medical marijuana. But old people be having the best medical marijuana.
Yeah, they got the hookup.
Yeah, they do.
I said miracle marijuana.
I said miracle wet.
Fucking alliteration kills me. So I don't like vodka because vodka reminds me of college, and college is a bunch of hangovers and drunken sex and just dealing with.
It is tough. Like, I mean, here's the thing about vodka. Good vodka, mix or whatever, that's not bad. I mean, you pay for good vodka so you don't wake up with a fucking hangover.
Right.
I mean, it's not, terrible, going down or whatever. But like, I'm not drinking vodka on the rocks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, or even really taking shots of vodka like I did back in college. And like you said, I mean, it's kind of, because I don't know, like I guess as I grow older, I like flavor. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing with craft beer. Like we want to taste what we drink. I mean,
well, even more so vodka, they do the flavors, but I guess what I was trying to get back to the point where you said people in PA don't like vodka. It just seems like vodka's like a pretty drink. You know what I mean?
Neutral.
Like it seems like people
There's no
in Pennsylvania
character to
with
it.
some hard liquor. Like they drinking the be drinking. Like, so how was it trying to get off the vodka? And then like vodka has, I mean, selling liquor in general, I guess you run into the majors. So how do you go about getting like a smaller local company? I mean, it's
more about building relationships with the beverage directors, bar managers, owners of the restaurants or the bars, going in, being very persistent. I've gone in the bars 15 times and only sold one bottle. Like it was blood, sweat, and tears. It's like, and commission based only. So, but the thing is that now I have Blue Coat, which is one of the largest distilleries in the state. Now they're Pittsburgh brand ambassador and they're paying me to do it, not just commission based. So that's the blue bottle right in the middle. And then right behind us, the Barrel Reserve. That's super tasty as well. So it's like it's an American dry London. It's not like an old school English like dry London where like it's what you drank when you found it in your grandfather's closet, you know, and you drank it thinking you're gonna get drunk with your like buddy when you were like 10. Yeah. No, that's it's a much better product. And but you guys were talking about the whole hangover with vodka.
That's a gorgeous bottle.
Absolutely, they're in all the state stores around Pittsburgh. Like they have a lot of brand equity. So bringing them a part of the portfolio, which was more recent than any of these other guys, was that. There's places that are on a bigger standard of like corporate. And so I get my foot in the door with these guys. And then what it allows me to do is let everybody else I show that portfolio for everything else. So it's all about, I guess, in a sense, creating, building a relationship with the products that I know can really help me get in the door and stay in the door. Some of these other guys, there's no brand equity. And so I keep saying that because it's so important to these guys, like Knob Creek whiskey versus my Thistlefinch whiskey, and because nobody has ever heard of it. So everybody kind of likes to feel safe, and so it's the safe bet. When you walk into a state store, you know what you're buying right off the bat. But like what I was talking about with the hangover vodkas, stateside, it's Federal Distilling out of Philly. It's called Stateside Vodka. They're in the state stores. They're just popping off here in Pittsburgh. And they have electrolytes in their vodka. And so it's hangover free. Yeah. So I used to drink, what was that stuff? What's that stuff that like kids like drink that has all the electrolytes in it?
Gatorade.
Pedialyte.
Oh,
yeah.
Pedialyte.
Pedialyte vodka all night long.
Yeah. That's why like honestly, like when I was drinking, I would let the ice melt and like, you know, drink the ice or whatever just to get the water in there or whatever. And Gatorade is the ultimate hangover juice, man.
Like, it is chocolate milk too, as Slug would say from
milk?
Atmosphere. Yeah.
Chocolate milk?
Chocolate milk?
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
it's like you know, it's like it's all right.
You probably got all the drink hacks.
I do, not drinking. I mean, I got access to as much alcohol as anybody would ever want, and
based
but
on
that's
what
the thing
I see,
is,
yes.
But
Yes.
it's
It's
7 days a week. It's usually 5 a.m. to like 10 p.m. on my laptop for 6 hours in the morning. Head to Pittsburgh, do my thing, stick around. I got events all like 3-4 times a week on top of everything. Plus, I got a beautiful 7-year-old son that I got to make sure I'm there for soccer practices when I can. So, but I live in Latrobe. That's where the brewery is for 4 Seasons. But I come into Pittsburgh every day, and that's when I'm trying to get that store open.
That's crazy.
It's my only downtime because if I'm in front of my laptop or my phone, I'm dead to the world.
We were just talking about that.
We were just talking about how like the car is like sometimes the only like town you got to yourself. Like it's just
But I got wireless Bluetooth now, so I could talk with hands free. So
but who wants to talk in their car? Like this is what we were saying. So sometimes like when you have a lady, they like to call you when you're in the car on your way somewhere, and they don't understand why you're being so short with them.
Annoyed.
And it's because the car ride is like, that's my me time. That's like my asylum. Like this little 15, 20-minute commute to work. Like it's the only time I get to choose whatever's being said, heard. I control the atmosphere altogether.
Like this is my car. Everything in here.
Like I'm trying to get
the seat settings.
like the temperature. Like I can choose the route. Like this is full control here. And you're calling, talking about, can you go pick up some paper towels and shit? You should have texted me that. Like I would have seen it and I would have gone and got it. But goddamn, don't try to tell me about your day while I'm in the car.
Truth.
But she don't know that like, your favorite song's waiting for her to get off the phone.
Playing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you be like, come on, bro. Like this got to be life or death. Like,
I always say I'm coming into the Squirrel Hill Tunnel and I just hang up on them.
Smart. But see, wifeys nowadays, man, they know too much. Like
they might have the GPS on your
Find
ass.
your phone.
They might have a low jack, or they just know your route. So if I say I'm going through the Squirrel Hill Tunnel, she's gonna ask where I'm coming from. Then that one line it just snowballs into this huge thing. Next thing I know, I didn't even go to work because I had a medical emergency. Like it just gets crazy. I just end up.
They'll hit you with the follow-up question 3 days later.
Oh
like.
yeah.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's
so
when you say, "What am I making you for dinner?" And then everything goes.
Yeah, food, man. That's the key.
So ladies, when you just talk to your man before he gets to this car, and then just leave him alone.
Yeah,
just let him get to his destination.
Text it. Just text it.
Send something for your pop-up.
Once I get this pop-up technology. Once I get this pop-up technology, I don't want women to take that and be using it for evil because here's what I do too. Titties. Sometimes dudes, we ignore like some of those texts you send us, and then we get home, we're like, what? You sent me a text? When you got the pop-up technology, you won't be able to do that because they'll figure out, because women are going to, women take over all technology. So everything we get that's cool, they make it to where it's advantageous for them. Like, think about it. Like, we used to have Facebook. Facebook used to be anonymous. You could send, like, anonymous stuff, and then women start figuring out how to hack into your Facebook and shit like that. Like, social media sites used to have DMs, but now they created Snapchat and shit like that. Like, they
keep trying to get new technology get your secret freak on and some shit. Like, it's
going to be nothing but women brewers eventually and women distillers. There's a whole bunch of them popping up all over the place. And but I'm okay with it.
Shout out to Meg Evans. She's out there killing it.
Absolutely. Up at Disobedient Spirits up in Homer City.
Yeah.
They have a female distiller as well.
Nice.
And they're doing really well as well. But they're on small time. I'm not working with them just yet, but they deserve a shout out.
Nice. What is gin, man?
Gin, it's vodka with a lot of botanicals in it. It's pretty much, that's why they came out with gin, bathtub gin, is because the vodka was just so nasty that they had to add something to it. So it's like juniper berries. There's usually 7 to 9 botanicals.
Serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that shit. I never knew that.
Pretty much. So like the CJ Spirits back there with the green label and the red label with the Wilds gin and Wilds vodka, that Wilds vodka is a corn base, 100% local corn. And it has like that sweet cornbread-esque to it. It's kind of like Tito's, around the same price line. But then the base of that is that gin. So they run 30 pounds of cucumbers in the botanical basket and run that vodka through it continuously. And then they add their spruce, their juniper, all kinds of different spices and stuff like that to pop what they want to pop. Everybody has their own spin-off. That's what gin is, in a sense, is that spin-off of what you think that would make your vodka better. Wow. And so everybody, all the different gins I have, some of them are more like Tanqueray stouts, some are more like Bombay style. And I only use those international names because some of the listeners might have zero idea what I'm talking about. Yeah. But then like Blue Coat in their barrel reserve, they've been mastering this for over 10 years. And they're in like over 400 state stores out of 617. So, but the gin, it's a lot of fun. And a lot of bartenders like working with it. Spoon in Pittsburgh, they're all gin. They have the largest portfolio of gin in the city of Pittsburgh, right next to BRGR over there in East Liberty.
Yeah, I love BRGR.
And Scratch Food and Beverage, you guys got to check those guys out. They have the largest portfolio of PA spirits in the entire city. They don't have Tito's. They don't have any name brands. Troy Hill, right up above Northside. Yeah. So
what's it called?
Scratch Food and Beverage. They got nothing but local beers, nothing but local spirits.
I like gin. Gin has a little bit more personality than vodka. Like I was super into Bombay for a minute, and the only issue that I had with gin is some liquors leave this that Blue Coat is really good. Yeah. It leaves like a little an after effect.
It's very effervescent.
Yeah, that's what I call awesomeness. And that's the thing is with me, it's like these products are so these products are so good they sell themselves.
Yeah,
and so that's what I learned through the years. My grandfather taught me that, like, buy something for a penny, sell it for a penny. You're making money because you're building a relationship. When you raise the price to 2 pennies, they come back. They liked what you did, other than actually the buying of the product, and they're like, the extra penny's worth it because you're a good person. You got customer service, and all that stuff prevails. So that's what these guys do. I provide the product. I tell them the price. I let everybody sell themselves because the product's good. The prices are they're right there with all the big brands. And so my job is pretty easy. It's more or less just getting the FaceTime, getting in there, because you see my portfolio now. It's insane. When I meet a new client, they're like, bring it all in. I'm like, you got 3 hours? Because that's pretty much.
You did bring a whole establishment in here. This is.
I got something for everybody, but at the same time is that it's a little bit the educational aspect. So it's on the bartenders, it's on the waiters and waitresses and the bar managers to teach all their people, and then they have to teach and educate everybody.
I hate walking into a spot and the motherfuckers don't know what's behind on tap or what's behind a bar. Like you don't know what an ale is, bruh. Like, why are you a bartender? How did this even happen?
That's something that we're seeing in Pittsburgh in a big way, that there's lack of knowledge. And a lot of, we have so many restaurants and bars popping up, and there's not enough people in the industry. We're getting pretty thin right now. And I've been seeing that because I'm in every single bar and restaurant in Pittsburgh. And there's a lot of people that fall in love with it, and they're the leaders of the pack. And we got a lot of young people that are the leaders of the pack. I'm with the U.S. Bartenders Guild, and they 150 members. And I definitely highly recommend, if you love anything craft beer, spirits, wine, ciders, meads, for like $150 a year, plus the Christmas party itself is way worth it. Yeah. It's at Arsenal Lanes in Lawrenceville. It's, open bar, open food, bowling tournament, tons of swag. Like, we're talking serious swag, like the best, the stuff that you look at a wall in a cool bar and you're like, I wish I could have that for home. That's the stuff you get given away. Yeah. And that's always around Christmas time. So like, it's never too late to sign up. I'm a huge advocate of it, because the people that are involved, if you're paying $150 a year to kind of just like go hang out with other bartenders, it's going to be something cool. And there's free trips down to Maker's Mark. There's free trips to Mexico to go see like Patron and stuff. Like there's all kinds of like competitions in New York City, like Manhattan drinking. Like I think Corinna, she's a bartender at Bush and Rye, but when she was at Siena Mercada, she won I think it was the Manhattan competition up in Manhattan. She's like 21, 22 years old, and she's just killing it.
Like making the best Manhattan?
Out of some of the best bartenders in the nation.
It's the same, man. All these like secret cults, like subcultures, like
that's what I was saying earlier. Like this whole notion of, all right, you're gonna go to high school, you're gonna get good grades, you're gonna go to college, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna like, yeah, you could do that, or you could really just passionately invest in something that you're into. Yeah, I mean, these are all individuals. Like, if you tell your parents I'm gonna be a bartender, they're gonna look at you crazy. But look at the life they're living. Like,
why do you think none of the bartenders ever talk about how much money they make? They never really tell you, because they make a lot more money than you. And they don't want you to come take their job.
Yeah. No, I believe it. I worked in the restaurant industry for like 10 years, and bartenders they bang at a good restaurant, like, consistent, like, business or whatever. Because people, just think about it. I know when I'm out, money just becomes fucking nothing when I get drunk. Like, and you wake up the next morning, check your pancake, like, I'm not Trump.
So what goes into you? How do you decide what brands to work with? Like, how does that initial?
It's I understand. Like, that's one of the hardest things too. Is like, what are you looking for? So it goes seasonal, just like with beer. So fall, winter, brown liquids. Aged products. Spring, people fall in love with the coconut rum I have from Big Spring Spirits, and it's 35% alcohol, and like, it's the best, one of the best, like, summery, springy drinks. So it's the same process. But everybody like me, I love having a really good porter or stout in the middle of the summer when it's 90 degrees, as long as the beer is like cold. I don't want the first pour off the tap in the last 18 hours. I want what's not in the line. And so with these guys, and everybody's popping off seasonal stuff too. Like this fall, I got a whole bunch of 2-year-old aged whiskeys, rye, wheat, and corn, and 2-year-old bourbons coming from a whole bunch of different distilleries. Because a lot of these guys are 2 going on 3 years. Some of them are only a year old, going on 2 years. So what's cool about this whole resurgency is because craft beer could be considered a bubble, and they're saying it's going to flatline eventually and kind of just top off. But with whiskeys and spirits, the aging process every 2 years is something new. Yeah. And it's going to be consistently like that for the age of time. Now, obviously, after if you get your hands on a 30-year-old bottle of whiskey, it might not actually be good anymore. Who knows? But it's not worth it. So much of it will evaporate away. The cost is just not worth the volume. So there's 2-year-old is now the straight whiskey category, and Big Spring Spirits, they macerate afterwards. They're like one of the only distilleries. They're LEED certified, number 1 in the nation, number 3 in the world for being green, and they're Penn State alumni. For all you Penn State, sorry, but Pitt. Yeah. Sorry, I had to do it.
I would IUP, so y'all guys can fight it out.
I'm cool.
Nah, but
if you bring me good liquor, you're good with me.
I got you a shirt too, so don't worry.
I'm good with that.
But when it comes down to it, so they age their rye, their wheat, and their corn separately. And to make a bourbon, you got to have 51% bill. The mash bill is 51% corn. And then the rest is whatever you want it to make your own bourbon. So they macerate, age everything separate, then they mix together. So if you guys wanted to get like your own custom label bourbon, you go up there and hand pick the mash bill to exactly how you want it tuned in with your bourbon. Shit. That is an opportunity for a lot of restaurants that I've worked with Butcher and stuff like that. We haven't got too far yet because they're not releasing until November. And then Thistlefinch Distillery out of Lancaster, they have a 2-year-old straight rye coming out in October here soon. And it's just really cool. Like you see all the stuff at Wiggle, like they have like thousands of barrels and stuff like that. A lot of these guys do too. But nobody sees them coming.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. And we've been really fortunate. The black coffee whiskey and the black pepper whiskey, that's
Black
6 months.
whiskey.
Yeah, that's over there too. That's smooth. You got to
that's
try
that one
that.
right there.
Open that up.
Yeah.
Open that up and pour a lot
Coffee
of it.
dude, man. We just did some coffee stuff.
Same style bottle.
Right there. So do you I guess before you start working with the company, do you get a chance to go in, look at their operation? Has there ever been a situation where you went in, you just like, you know what, I don't like how you guys are doing it. I can't put my name to it.
I did have one, but I'm not going to name any names.
Well, no, you don't have to call them out.
Well,
I
had a handshake deal with this guy. I got him over probably 20 accounts, and as soon as I started making large orders for him, he backed off. So, I mean, it is what it is because a lot of people are like, well, how many accounts do you have? And I tell them, and I'm like, how much product are you moving through? And I tell them, and they're like, we can't entertain that. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So but they want to be in this situation. They want to be in the light. So yeah, I mean, everybody has to have like that one.
I guess I'm just very interested in how these business transactions come to be with the industry that you're in. I mean, were you always super into the nightlife? Like, so you did the craft thing, right? How did you go from craft brew to craft liquor? Like, at what point did you see yourself being very interested in that? Because there's so many liquors here, and I'm sure you have some craft brews that you work with, but it looks like, I guess, your lion's share of your portfolio would be liquors. Is it easier to move liquors into bars? I mean, because I guess
it is.
Bars are going to just have like a lot of the stock or the larger just beers in there because most people drinking beers at that point.
I think
they're just trying to have something.
Mead's the next cider. You know, cider's been around. Arsenal Cider's products are like just really, really top notch. And I think everybody in Pittsburgh has had their product. But with Meads, I think that's the next thing. Wine, I tried selling wine. I do sell wine for Pittsburgh Winery and Conneaut Cellars Winery and Distillery up from Conneaut Lake. And
very fucking good. Oh my
right?
God, man.
And I mean, so we the wine's cutthroat, man. Wine bubble was like 15, 20 years ago when we just like in the industry just got really, really big. And then soon thereafter, 10 years ago is when the craft beer industry started really getting big. Mm-hmm. And so next is spirits. And then so the whole thing with wine for me, it's so cutthroat. I mean, the difference in 20 cents for a bottle of wine is a make or break deal. Sometimes even 5 cents.
Jeez.
And spirits is more like $1 or $2 you can play with. If it's anything more than $5, they're kind of like it has to be exceptional. But that's the best part about my job is working with some of the best sommeliers, the best beverage directors. Eric Moore from Il Pizziola. He's like a second level sommelier, and he's the kind of guy that if he wants a drink, if the bottle costs $25, but the stuff that's better is $40 bottle, he's going to go with the $40 bottle and make a less profit margin. But he'll make it up somewhere else with me trying to like work a deal out with other bottles so his profit margin lowers down. So the wine was tough. That's why I haven't really picked up too many more wineries. Distilleries seems the best fit for me right now. And local, it's good, but certain places just don't want to touch local stuff. It's just their clientele.
Yeah, that's kind of whack.
That is whack.
Like, why? What do you think their reservations to the local stuff is? Do they think it's not? Do they just have this immediate thought that it's not of the same quality? Or
yeah, it's the brand equity. When you see it on, but at the same time, it's like Taco down next to Butcher. Mm-hmm. They're going to have the Big Spring Spirits barrel aged rum, the 1 year rum. It's going to be on their new menu that's releasing here in the next week or two. And it's the first real like full on drink menu that they changed since they opened.
Are they all rum and tequila?
Rum and tequila, and I think if you ask politely, they might give you some water. But yeah, their forte is like their bartenders there
downtown,
right next to Butcher on 6th, Butcher and Rye. And I was there actually like a week ago, and it was a lot of fun. Where I didn't even really have to ask. They kind of just like they educated me. And they enjoyed it, and the girls there just knew everything. They blew me away. They knew more about what they were doing than I do about what I'm doing because I have like a a memory thing. Every day I forget who I am, and I have to look at my back. I have tattoos all over me. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, you got all, but it's impressive because you have all these liquors that you got to know stuff about, especially because you're selling them. Like you're selling these to people, so you got to talk about the process. You got to understand the feel. You got to know, like, does it matter what bar? Like, do you think? I guess selling it. Do you find when you go into a bar and you're trying to sell certain liquors to it? Are you looking at the bar, the clientele, and being like, all right, this liquor fits? Or you're just trying to see what they're looking for to, you know what I mean? Like, how do you pair up? I guess we were doing pairings today. How do you pair up the alcohol in the bar that you're going to try to sell it to? Because I'm sure you're not just coming in with these boxes like, hey, choose one of these. They're all good. Choose what you like. I'm sure you're like, it's more efficient for you to say, okay, I have this. This is how it's made. This is what it's good for. Your clients come in. They generally are like this. Or
I profile them.
Okay,
straight up. I walk
in. It's hard
in,
for you to say that in a room with two black dudes.
Well, I walk in. I can look at a tap handle system and know exactly what wholesaler and rep they're working with by just looking at their tap handle setup.
Okay.
If whether there's Fuhrer, Wilson McGinley, Galli, I just know if whoever the beverage director or bar manager is at that restaurant, I know who they're best friends with because that's usually how it goes with. It's relationship building. It's about old school tactics, FaceTime, and if I've had many situations where bar managers left one restaurant, went to another, they call me up and they're like, "Hey, I know you've never had your products in here, but now you will."
Yeah.
So when I do walk in a bar, I look at their cocktail list. I look at what's on their shelves. Some bars, it's a showroom to them. It's like their Mercedes or whatever showroom, and they don't want an ugly bottle on their shelf. And so you only really point bottles that would be really sexy to them. And at the same time is then you look at their bar menu and their cocktails. If they're all like $9, their profit margin. The bottle can't be more than $27 a bottle. Usually it's $30 a bottle. So
sense.
if you're drinking a $12 cocktail, most likely that bottle costs between $29 and like $33.
Thank you for clearing that up for the So how much?
So there's 25 ounces in a 750. So drinks usually take an ounce and a half to 2 ounces. So so you're looking at 12 drinks, $1,244. Bottle only costs $33. That's the 300% markup, 400% markup.
So you think
killing it?
So you think they're making? Because I know sitting at a bar, I've had this conversation with several friends. Like, how much you think they make off this fucking bottle of Hennessy? They're charging us $8 to $14 for this Hennessy, and the bottle that is a $30 bottle. Like, what the fuck?
Well, no, you need to invest in one of those bras that has like the packets in them.
I can't wear a bra.
No, not you, your girl or something like that.
Against
my ex fit a whole 6-pack of fucking Natty Ice in her bra this one time, man. I was at a party and she just danced on the wall or whatever, and like she was just every like 15 minutes she just pull out another one out of it. I was like, where are you getting these from? But her titties didn't get smaller. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. I don't know where she's pulling these motherfuckers out of, man. Maybe
you need to invest in a flask.
Yeah, I do have a flask,
but a plastic one so it doesn't get hit off on the metal detectors. They got them at like Walmart for like $5.
You know what? I'm not going to too many metal detector spots anymore. Like, I left the metal detector spots
like
at
Mr.
about
Small
20s.
Cedar or something like that. Mr. You know what I mean? Like where they wand you and stuff like that.
Yeah, they had a couple of them little. There's like the baby that you can like with the how they have the baby strapped to their chest. You can have like a fake baby.
That's too
wine
much.
Type thing.
That's too. I don't need to. I'm not faking being a parent. It'd be like we're the Millers. Did you see We're the Millers when they fucking were moving the drugs and then they told the dude that it was a baby? It's like, I want to see that baby. Like, what happens when an old person is just mad persistent about seeing your baby? You just got this plastic baby with wine in it. Like, nah, I'm cool.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be in the same place where old ladies is at drinking. Drinking.
I'm trying to refine my drinking. Like,
I don't turn up with old ladies.
So, what's your favorite type of liquor?
My favorite type of liquor, Scotch.
It's Scotch.
But I don't sell Scotch. That's something I don't have. That's probably why I like it the most because it's one thing I don't have access to unless I go to the state store and pay for it.
Oh shit!
So I mean, my favorite run up right now, like I love going to Ace Hotel. They got Scotch. It's a Leggy 16 years. Then I get a latte and a glass of water. You got your cutter, your high, and your low.
Nice.
And it's a perfect even. But that's like, so my idea was, I like Scotch. I like peatiness. I like really tasting the barrel age. I like my coffee like super robust. You know what I mean? I'm a big coffee drinker and stuff like that. So I'm all about that smokiness. I love smoked porters, like East End Brewing Company smoked. I think it's their smoked stack porter, maybe.
Did they have that when we went down there?
I know his smoked beer is amazing. He definitely got it on lockdown for sure. I like the stouts and stuff like that, but I'm all about that, like barrel aged products in the beer world. I think sometimes they're just too potent. I mean, but for spirits, gin, I like spicy gimlets. Cucumber, that wild gin. You guys need to try that next. That's the cucumber gin, the green label.
Yeah, you got to tell us where to go. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So right there. And so that with like a little bit of simple syrup, a couple chunks of jalapeno, just like crushed up a little bit. So it's like super fresh, then spicy. I mean, so, it's a lot of fun with that drink. And even Moscow Mules, we call it the Wild Mule. So it's all about marketing. Like I work with Rivertown Brewing.
Moscow Mule.
Ginger beer, simple syrup, and usually vodka in the copper cups.
Yeah, they got one of those down at...
Sometimes like a lime wedge too. Most of the time, I usually get a little bit of Sprite, less ginger beer. I'm not a huge ginger
Sprite
fan.
with your gin?
Well, Sprite with the Moscow Mule.
With the mule.
But we call it a Wild Mule because it's wild gin. And
Pan is where they had it. They had a Moscow Mule type of a cocktail type thing. It's actually pretty decent. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're working with a lot of the breweries now since they're allowed selling spirits. I got really good accounts with Reclamation Brewing, Shoe Brew Brewing, Beaver Brewing, Rivertown, and Rivertown with all 4 of their restaurants plus their brewery over there in export. Wow. And they do, every single one of the restaurants now has that wild gin, and they actually use it as a topper for IPAs. So instead of giving you a 16-ounce pint, they'll give you like a 10 or 12 ounce, and then they'll throw like a half ounce of that on top of a sexy IPA they might have, and it's super dang. I think that's where craft beer and craft spirits need to start going towards. Is like we see beer cocktails all the time, but you don't need to get super fancy. I'd rather have more beer, but throw a little spice in there. Throw something that flows with it really well. And Boilermakers is coming back big time, where you have a pint of beer and a shot next to it. You don't dump it in anymore. You just sip them side by side, and they complement each other.
Yeah, that's what they do. They call it hand grenades or whatever. Is that the same? Like you got
Goldmark's famous for what they're doing right now with that. With the Boilermakers, it's pretty much a shot and beer place. That's all.
Boilermakers. That's a good name for it. That's throwback. I know a lot of old heads like back home in Cleveland. It won't be as fancy as that, but like they get a shot of liquor and they get a beer. And that's how they, like, every time they get a drink, they get a shot of liquor, and it's cool because they carry them in the same hand because you got to have one hand for it. So they like hold the bottle and then they got the shot, and it flows well.
And we were down in Atlanta, every place offered it. They called them hand grenades. They were just like a shot and a beer or whatever, and it's usually just like some cheap shit, like, you know what I mean? But it depends on where you go.
Right. I mean, commercialized is going to just be a fucking Budweiser and a shot of Hennessy or something like that.
Bullshit,
Somebody needs to open up just a bar that does only shots. They over in Europe they have them. It's literally that's all you do. It's like it's a big funneling effect. You go in with a party before you go out and get crazy with your friends, bachelorette parties and stuff, and they do like the most extreme shots, like fire shots on fire and stuff. And they're like $8 a pop, and you get like people just rolling in and out. That's the only thing they serve. No beer, no mixed drinks, only shots. And my sister lived over there for a little while in Portugal, and she was telling me that it was just insane. People just lines of people waiting to get in there just to do a shot and leave.
That's crazy.
So I'm waiting for downtown
more fun
Pittsburgh.
in fucking Europe.
Yeah, I feel like that whole flaming shot be a liability.
I'm scared of anything.
I saw a motherfucker's face catch on fire, like doing the flaming shot. He did the flaming 151, threw that shit right into his whole started screaming and shit, ran in the bathroom, put the chapstick on his face and shit. Like I was like, because I had just did the shot like right before that. We didn't know we were supposed to blow it out. Like we just took it like. And mine's actually, luckily, like, I didn't throw it up. I just, like, I took it, but, like, I burnt my lip because the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, the shot was still hot and shit. And I was over there bent over crazy, like, and then, he just threw his shit up. And it was great because nobody even checked on him or nothing.
Yeah.
Like, nobody was like,
well, you guys taking shots. Like,
Chris,
the last place you want to have a medical emergency is with a bunch of early 20-somethings taking shots. Like, everybody's going to be looking at you like, he's fucked up. Oh, my God.
One less guy we got to worry about taking my girl.
Well, there's more liquor for me. There's more liquor left for me. Just real quick, that Wild's gin that's one of the, I like the finish on that. Like, the finish, because sometimes, again, with gin, that finish, it'll feel weird, right? Your throat area, like that was good. What did you say that was?
It's CJ Spirits out of Kane, PA. They're way up in God's country. They pull their water straight out of the ground right below them. So that's where let me tell you a story about me living in Oregon. When I first moved there when I was 19, I lived with a whole bunch of dreadlocked hippies like big time, like artists from Chicago and seamstress and glass blowers and stuff. And I was 19, they're all in their late 20s. They picked Bend, Oregon because of Deschutes Brewery. And they picked it because the beer was so good. That means the water was so good. So if the water was that good, then people in that town would drink the water more often, which would have given them better brain activity and be happier with life. So hence these people just lived in a teepee prior to living in this house. But I mean, everything starts with the base, and that's the water. And so when it comes to having to add less like acids and different chemicals to your beer to get the acidity right, with everything else that's going along with the chemical balance of making good products, is the water. So if you have clean water, less chemicals in it, which we all know our water is pumped full of chlorine and all that stuff. So I think if you're pulling straight spring water like these guys are, that's the basis of it all, man.
Yeah, no, it tastes like I'm looking out on like an Oregon sunset. It's got a piney
What's wrong with Western PA?
It's just not Oregon.
It feels like I lost a couple buffaloes. All
right.
Right? And everybody that Wilds has the big pine tree on it, and people think it's going to be super piney, but it's nothing like that.
It's just like, I think it makes sense now that you explain and I could see now that being a part of the sales process. Like you do the explanation, then you have them take it. It's like, I taste what you said, Pause.
Yeah. I used to do that selling beer too, though. But then I realized that people knew more about the products than me, and then I should not be talking about as if I know it. So with working in this industry in Pittsburgh, everybody knows way more than me. I'm not here to tell you that I know more. So with these guys, with sommeliers, like it was trickery because I'd open a bottle of wine and they'd be like, ask me all these different questions, and I'm like, oh no! Yeah. Let me figure that out for you.
Hey, let me Google that.
That happens to me with the podcast. I try to explain to people like I'm literally 2 years into craft brew, like from day one, and less than 2 years because this wasn't even a craft brew podcast initially. I was drinking Hennessy on the podcast, so like I'm learning every day, and every now and again I have a nugget of information that I'm very proud to present. But for the most part, like if you sat there and asked me why I like this, whatever, I don't have that drinker's vocabulary. You know how people talk about finish and and whatever. I just be like, that shit tastes good as hell. It's like got a fruity flavor to it, like crazy shit like that. So
I still really can't like speak in those terms myself. Like, I mean, there's some of it. I got a little bit more background over it, but at the end of the day, like I'm still learning a lot of shit. That's what I love about this podcast.
Yeah, it's like a learning experience.
Yeah. I know a lot more now than I did 2 years ago. I know that much.
So Pennsylvania Libations, you've been doing for a little over a year? Or?
Yeah, 15, 16 months and just brokering. But the next step is opening up a store. And right now we're focused on the Strip District. I've been in and out of 2 leases that kind of fell apart in 2 different locations. And it wasn't anybody's fault, but like just the old school laws of prohibition. Right. Because of all these manufacturing licenses that we're using under one roof, nobody that owns the building can have their hands or touching a liquor license whatsoever. So if somebody owns the building, say there's 5 owners, and if any one of those 5 owners has a liquor license in their name in any which way or form, the building can't work out. So, But in this industry in Pittsburgh, is that most likely anybody that owns these $1 million buildings that would work well for me, most likely have a liquor license because they're an investment.
Right,
they're like gold. So it created the possibility of me finding a building from 80% to 10% because of that. And so right now we're in the process of, we've put a letter of intent. We're in the process of trying to purchase a building in the Strip District. And it's very expensive right now, but it's going to be worth it. And that's the goal of mine, is that we'd be technically what people are saying is like a private state store, but only Pennsylvania products.
So what goes into, I guess what's interesting about this is what goes into like privatizing a state store? Because I've only seen wine and spirits in Pennsylvania. Like I would flip if I saw another, like, what the fuck? Like,
like that's
well, can I get some more whiskey first before I tell you that story?
What whiskey? Which
Let's
one?
do Manitawny, the red label right there. Yeah, that's
sweet.
I'll talk about that real quick.
So. Yeah, let's make sure. Yeah, let us know which ones to drink. We'll talk. Obviously,
I got you guys these 2 glasswares right there. Those are yours. So I would recommend using those for the whiskey.
Well, the whiskey, whiskey got to go in that. Let me know.
So We man, Tawny's whiskey real quick
Gotta
is
say when, though.
yeah, that's good.
Okay. Don't let me be in charge of your life. You know what I mean?
But with these guys, zero corn in this whiskey. It's a 4-grain whiskey, so 83%.
Zero corn?
Zero corn. So like bourbons usually they always have corn in them, 51%. So
how is it still a bourbon if it has zero?
well, it's a whiskey.
Whiskey.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
they have a mix of between 12-month barrels and 25-month barrels. So it's kind of like a little bit of both. The 25-month gives it a little bit more character and keeps it from getting too hot. But the base on this is 83% malt, and the rest is oats, wheat, and rye. So it's much smoother, much smoother than most whiskeys out there, because I think corn. Corn does its job and it does it well. But I think that malt. I mean, I'm beer background, man. I'm all about the malt, and these guys do really well. But into the light of working with the store is that the privatization aspect of it all is that I'm not like, I mean, this LCB, they've been nothing but awesome with me. I've written approval on everything that I do from them, where the big thing with what I do as a business is that the money never touches my hands. I straight direct sell. I pretty much, once it's introduced and I get them the byproduct, it's up to the distillery pretty much from that point to kind of like work their magic. But I do help a lot with a lot of the distribution and things like that as well. So there's a lot of things with that. But what people don't realize is that you can't just do what I'm doing. You have to, these distilleries are not going to just give you a satellite location and be like, go ahead, have fun with it.
Right.
Because it's their brand.
Yeah.
They could destroy them if you did something bad.
Yeah.
And so what I did was, and I didn't see it coming, but what I ended up doing is creating these relationships with so many of these different manufacturers. And I built this really good base of trust and loyalty and good stuff, and just doing what I do. And so I was able to get over 17 different manufacturers as of right now, and about 6 others in negotiations, to sign letter of intents to let me use one of their satellite locations. That wineries, distilleries have 5 and breweries have 2. And so now they will give me one of them, name it as my building, my address. And with that, then I'll be able to sell their product as a direct sell. And there's a lot more trickery to it than that, but I'm not just selling to the public.
Yeah.
I'm selling to the bars, restaurants, breweries. I'm selling event centers, wedding venues, all that stuff. And we're a distribution hub too. So it's all about creating brand equity. We'll have our own Salesforce team, but we'll also sell to the public, which is the biggest treat of all, is everything before you buy it, you can try. So you'll be able to,
That's new.
Yeah, it's never, I mean, you can go into a state store and you might get lucky and someone's handing out like a quarter ounce of something.
Samples,
Yeah.
And
And,
probably some shit you don't even want, to be
You
honest.
just want the girl's
It's
phone
generally,
number.
it's generally some mainstream shit.
Yeah, that they ain't really going well or
Yeah.
whatever.
So I guess for the casual individuals not like in the know of the biz, I mean, to me, I thought all liquor stores had to carry that wine and spirits name. Like, how do you?
What I'm going to be, so I have approval, and I got approval last year in 2015. So a lot of people think this new law, Act 39, that came through, where breweries and wineries can sell different products, and distilleries can sell beer, breweries can sell spirits in cocktail form and wine, which they've always been able to do. And but I've actually got approval back in December. I emailed LCB in November of 2015, and so I've been working on this for almost a year now. And so it's more or less going to be technically it's going to be a satellite location.
Satellites, yeah.
And
That's
there's a
dope.
lot of rules,
Is
a lot
it
of
a satellite of wine and spirits type of thing?
No,
No,
it's
it's
a
a-
satellite of the various distilleries. Like
Oh,
they're
so it's
gonna-
like you're not a liquor store. You
yeah,
are
a satellite for
Thistlefench
Satellite.
subsidiary satellite.
Technically, I'm a management company,
Okay.
but because I created a relationship with all these guys.
Loopholes.
And so, I mean, I'm the only person in the state of Pennsylvania doing what I'm doing.
I was going to ask,
portfolio.
are there any other like
Well, I got contracts with-
privatized?
Not really. I got contracts with every one of these guys, and so we're. I mean, but that's what this is all built on. Is that like I have relationships in Pittsburgh, very very strong, and like most of the time when I go out and hang out in Pittsburgh, I get treated very very well, and they know that what I'm doing, and they know that I've had people tell me that, like, dude, you're going to spend your entire life, and you're still never going to top over the big dogs, and I'm like, that's fine, because that's not what we're going to do. I'm just going to wait for other things to happen, and and people to start catching on and demand local products.
Yeah.
So why do you think nobody else has, or no one else in Pennsylvania has tapped into like doing a privatized thing? Is it just because you don't think they have the same type of relationships you've had?
Well,
with
I think they're
2012.
smart enough, to be honest. That's some.
Thanks.
That's some. I mean, like I beat the hustle. That's a hustle and a half. Like, we're technically.
Let's go back
'cause,
to
like,
Steve Jobs here. I never graduated high school, just so you guys know.
Really?
What?
Never went to college. I tried college out, but never finished. I got kicked out in 11th
How'd you
grade.
get in college without? So you got a GED?
Yeah, I got GED
Okay.
next week. Went to community college at 3Cs in Westmoreland County for a year and a half. Then moved to Oregon, and that's when I went out to snowboard and all that stuff. Tried school out there, but ADHD, man, I'd be wound up going into class. I'd fall asleep 3 minutes later.
Here's the thing about ADHD. I think it just has to be. It has to be like pointed and focused, and then it could be
Give
like
me a hammer and nail, man. I'll build the world. You know what I mean? But if you put me in a classroom with a teacher, I fall asleep.
Yeah.
No, I feel that.
I think that, I mean, in education, that's important.
They bastardized that
The-
thing, but it just has to. If you work on focusing that individual on something, like it could be.
Well, the thing is, I mean, that's where, like, that's
what
why
happened with you.
That's why you live in good. You try to live in, good districts or private schools or whatever, because what you're paying for is a teacher and time put into your child's learning style. And I mean, like, for the most part, especially in poor neighborhoods, it's just cut and paste, teaching or whatever. You get a better, more. A richer school or whatever, then now you've got private time and tutors and various techniques or whatever. So I mean, I think just like it sucks because like we put so much money into a lot of bullshit with our taxes, but education is just like
Well, I'm hoping that will change with medical, So we're just
yeah.
I mean, because
shit.
look at all the money flowing in. I mean,
I feel like it's an arms race at this point, man. Like we got to get it before Ohio because Ohio is already killing us. I feel like they're killing us on the liquor side because like I'm biased. I live like 10 minutes outside of
I'm just
Ohio.
gonna be quiet and let him do this. Go ahead. Finish.
I live 10 minutes outside.
I would
Ohio.
not tell too many people that.
I'm from Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland.
He's
so,
from Cleveland.
So this is
and,
go ahead.
like,
You can't
but-
stop now. Just as an announcement to the listeners, Dave Bracey said Ohio is killing Pennsylvania. I just wanted to.
And when it comes to liquor, man, like I mean, it's cheaper, it's more widely available. Like I mean, it's right
Yep.
there, and I'm sure there are a lot of like liquor stores and just establishments that are right along that border. Like the border's got to be the worst place to have an establishment in Pennsylvania because a motherfucker can go 15 minutes down the street and get it much cheaper, at the gas station. I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's one of my like when I got insurance, when I got priced out for insurance for my store. It was an insurance company in Ohio, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be this," but there is nothing what you're doing in Pennsylvania, so we have to base it off an Ohio State store, like a public state store, and they can't legally do that. So it was considered a high risk type of thing. But that's the thing is like everything in my store is on consignment. I don't own it. I'm not reselling it. It's not owned by me. It is so if the distillery or manufacturer of any sorts wanted their product back, that's a beautiful thing. So, I mean, so they say they sold out everything of like an aged whiskey and I still had like 200 bottles left. They'd come back and pick up like 150 of them and leave me with 50.
Yeah.
So be it. But at the same time is that I want to make money on those
50
bottles. You know what I mean? So that's the structure that I have built with these guys. And I got some of the biggest dogs in like Boyd and Blair. They're committed or via email and stuff like that, back and forth to be in the store. I've talked with Tim from Maggie's Farm Rum. He's verbally talked to me about.
Man, first shout out to Tim, man. He's
Yeah,
cool, dude.
they're dark rum just like won another gold medal up in New York, I think, or somewhere.
Yeah, they've been all over the fucking magazines and polls and surveys.
We
and
got
all.
Will Groves. You know Will Groves? He was the beverage director at Small McGalley. He opened it up. He consulted to open that place up, but he's the brand ambassador technically for Maggie's Farm Rum.
Okay.
And the guy, he writes in Craft Pittsburgh magazine as well, and he does like the cocktail edition of that. And Will Groves knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And he definitely has that flair that will really, really help Tim getting that personality and that old school sales. The product sells itself.
I mean, it's not like any rum I've ever tasted. Like
exactly.
I didn't know rum could have that. Like rum was Captain Morgan. It's a bitch type.
You guys got to try that barrel aged rum by Big Spring
No,
Spirits.
we're going to get into a few of these. So what we're going to have you do is suggest us to. We should do our rapid fire like that. He suggests one, we take a shot.
All right, we can do.
And
like
then
five,
ask you a question that you have to answer honestly.
Do 5 shots, 5 minutes.
5 shots, 5 minutes.
I got everything. I got
Maggie's Farm Run, episode 47. Just for those who are not familiar, get familiar.
Episode 47, yeah. We did that semi-live. We did that. It was satellite. Oh, look at that.
We did the Strip District Fest down there.
Yeah.
Which is
the lost episode.
All right. So, Christian, you go to
the bottle right in front of the blue bottle. Big Spring Spirits right there. Yep.
Right.
That's
Spring Spirit Rum.
Yep, that's the 1-year-old new American oak barrel. It's I call it like a baby Scotch. It has a really nice amount of peatiness to it, and it's it's peaty. And
peatiness, does that mean dirt?
peaty, not like mossy. I guess it's like I call it the funk. You know what I mean? The good stuff. So
The funk.
yeah, so
I've been watching the Get Down
yeah.
on Netflix. It is like the awesomeness or the whackness. Like I'm just listening to your lingo. I'm like, I'm going back to that. Like, damn, I got to finish some episodes.
Speaking of Maggie's Farm, he introduces the term vegetal funk. Vegetal funk.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
get some good terms on here.
Yeah,
I know.
Well,
I was told I have
you
African
know
definition.
why Maggie's Farm Rum's so good.
No.
Tim comes from like more or less a home brewer's background of beer world.
Mm-hmm.
I find that in the distillery world, people that have a beer background are way better, not necessarily way better, but they have a better sense of what really defines a spirit throughout the yeast and everything like that. To be a really good brewer, you just gotta be a chemist in a sense and know cleanliness, because owning a brewery is 90%. 90% cleaning, 9% paperwork, and 1% brewing. But
Wow.
And I can tell you more about some of the other distilleries that have beer backgrounds too. But take that shot. That's 100 proof.
Damn it!
It's 100 proof, but you won't know it because it's so good.
I won't know it now, but I'll know it. It's gonna sit. It's gonna sit within.
I mean, you got all that
delicious.
food in you.
That is delicious. That goes down super smooth.
Yeah.
How old is that?
It's only 1 year.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So these guys are from Bellefonte, PA State College, just north. They're hardcore State College guys.
Bellefonte?
Yeah, they're both owners are alumni, but he was in the pharmaceutical world back in the day, and came around and was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to start a distillery. And their head distiller is the corn pathologist. He wrote his thesis on corn pathology, but he's also a professor.
Corn pathology.
Yeah, he's the master of corn.
Wow.
Yeah, so
He's the
at Penn
George
State
Washington
University.
Carver.
Yeah.
Yo,
And he comes from a beer background. That's my big
Yeah.
point. Is like, and same with Manatawny. The Manatawny is pretty much an affiliate of Sly Fox Brewing Company, and so with Sly Fox, their assistant to the head brewer is now over as the head distiller at Manatawny. They're right across the street, and so while I chat, you guys should let's do that. CJ's.
wait, we gotta ask you a question.
Okay,
Yeah.
ask me a question.
Do you remember the first alcoholic beverage that you ever had?
Do I remember? Yeah, probably Yingling, but that's beer though.
Wow.
But I mean, but when I was
came in
one of those
soft,
kids.
pause.
I know I came in soft. Actually, you know what? I take that back.
Okay.
Grain alcohol. I put it with Country Time pink lemonade in my water bottle on my mountain bike when I was like 14 years old. And I realized, and I realized that you would think it'd be fun to like drink something that was 180 proof or something like that. Like it was like it was my friend's mom's. We mountain bike like 30 miles a day. That was her thing out in the cut. And we both got really sick thinking it was cool to like drink grain alcohol with
Technically, could you have been cited for that? Like, could you get a ticket for that?
if they could catch me. If they could catch
biking
me.
and biking under the influence is
Well, like
that
we were talking about calf muscles earlier. I got calf muscles.
Like, that's crazy. Like, I remember me and my boy found this Clorox bottle. He found a Clorox bottle in his house. This house is like 100 years old or whatever. So whoever had this house beforehand, like we don't know how old this shit was, but it was moonshine and like the old timey brown glass Clorox bottle. Like, and we're teenagers because I don't like as a grown man. If you told me you found a bottle of some strange liquid in a Clorox bottle in your basement, I'm not like, yeah, let's drink that shit. But like we smelt it. It's like, I think that's just moonshine, and we got fucked. We just put
It was
Kool-Aid.
Clorox.
It was probably Clorox, aged Clorox, aged to
Just
fine.
add some Country Time. You're good.
my first
Yeah.
drink my aunt gave me. I was super young. It was rum and Coke, And I beat it. It was like one of those. It was the party aunt who would have like the card parties, and everybody would come over and drink and play spades. And so I think she was just drunk. And she's like, "Here, try this," because I didn't even ask for it.
She probably just thought she was a midget.
Yeah, she's like, and she gave it to me. I drank. I immediately went upstairs and spit that shit out. I was like, "Fuck this! This is terrible." And then a few years later, I was drinking Hennessy. So.
My first drink was Schlitz Blue Bull. That's back when my mom used to drink. She don't drink anymore. But back in the drinking, she had a Schlitz. It was New Year's, and like you know how like parents will give their kids like a little bit of drink. Well, I got a little taste of Schlitz Blue Bull. So
let's do. I'm gonna switch you guys off on. I want you to do that cream bourbon, the black bottle right there.
Cream bourbon,
right there. Yep. On the left over here. Yep. So that's it's kind of like Bailey's, but like way better. And that's also by Big Spring Spirits.
Talleyrand.
Yeah. Then I'm going to get you guys back and forth. It's kind of like drink some wine, then drink some spirits, and drink a beer, then drink some wine, and then.
Hey man.
You guys had all that awesome food over at Hop Farm. Man. You know what I mean? So I figured
we tried to pace our. We had something this color over there.
Yeah,
it was a rum something.
It was some rum.
We don't know. We actually don't know what we had.
Nah,
because we didn't get to stick around for the outcome to see who the pairings were. So we'll find out.
We had to get here and destroy our livers more.
Yeah, we had to come here and be a little more responsible.
It's kind of like baby. It's like it's good. It's a lot of people. You'll see that a lot of places in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that is fucking.
Is
gorgeous.
this more of a cocktail?
No, it's. It's something you would put with maybe like a coffee martini,
with something that you would put cereal in.
Yeah,
and go to town
exactly
on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
My son drinks this every morning.
I'm
just kidding.
This is amazing, man.
Right?
I didn't know cream bourbon. I didn't know that was a thing.
It's not a thing. I'm lying to you. It's Pepto-Bismol. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, that
might be the best thing I've tasted today.
15%, man. You throw some rocks on the rocks, you're good to go, man. That is delicious.
It is. That's why I said. When a bottle gets kind of low and the outside of the bottle gets a little bit looks like it gets worn just from residue and whatnot, I just keep it in my fridge, and sometimes I find myself drinking cream bourbon at 8 a.m., 5 a.m. Sometimes it's
it tastes like it almost tastes like cinnamon toast crunch milk.
Yeah, it's almost like that that horchata or not horchata. What was that called?
Like a chai.
Coquita. The
coquitos.
The coquitos.
Or coquito. I don't know.
Whatever,
Shout out to Tara. She's doing big things. She got the 40 for 40, episode 46, Cafe Con Leche.
Oh, she got the 40 for 40?
She's Pittsburgh 40 under 40.
Shout out to, okay,
Pittsburgh
we know.
40 under 40.
We know people.
You'll be on that.
No, I was on 50 Finest this year, cystic fibrosis. We raised the most money in the entire country this year, 2016. Yeah.
Did you do like drinking events?
I was the alcohol sponsor for the gala, and I donated alcohol to 8 different events that raised tens of thousands of dollars. So it was a struggle for me to have my own events because I was just so busy doing what I'm doing. But I was able to give as much as I could to the other events. I was also at the Brewers Ball, the Black Tie.
I was down at the Brewers Ball this year. I didn't know what I was getting into.
Did you see that party wagon?
The party wagon.
It was a red wagon at the end of the gift table that you bid on stuff.
Yeah.
There was massive tons of booze.
Yeah,
that was me, man.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
okay.
that thing raised like $500.
Yeah, I was one of the 5 black people that were there. But yeah, we got to. I didn't know because like a friend of mine gave me tickets. I didn't even know what the hell it was, and I got in and. Yeah, I mean that shit was amazing, man. It was a nice turnout.
Yeah, I had that boy that was spinning records up there. That was my homie, DJ Helmet, Adam Sokoviak.
DJ Helmet.
Helmet, yeah. He used to have a haircut back in high school that looked like he had a helmet. Yeah. But I mean, he's been spinning only vinyl since like 7th grade, and he's 33, 34 now. So he has a really, really nice collection.
Vinyl and spirits. Vine and spirits. That's what you could do.
Vine and spirits.
At your spot, it could be Vine and Spirits, a subsidiary of all of your whatever. You don't have to listen to me, but Vine and Spirits I would go to. That would be like a dope ass, at least an event. Vine
That's
and
a nice
Spirits.
ass venue's name. Question with this shot. How many midgets would it take to take down a fully grown lion?
One.
Just one.
Just one.
Okay, hold on. Bare-fisted. How many bare-fist midgets does it take to take down a lion?
You're probably gonna need 3 or 4 as bait, and then probably about another 20 to take it down.
About 20. So about 24. About 24, 25. What you going on, man?
Barefist midgets. I don't even what. I'm over here doing other shit. What kind of question is that?
I'm trying to drink whiskey here.
Yeah, like a lion, barefist.
A lion and barefist midgets.
All right, let's do another shot before he starts asking other questions like that.
Yeah.
The blue-eyed six to the far left, right? Nope. Up one closer to me. Nope. No, the only one you didn't touch.
This.
Nope. To the left, right there. The black top.
This.
Behind the Talleyrand, right there. Yeah.
Oh,
All right, we got to do this one, and we got to wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to do this one. We got to wrap up. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's all good. So Blue-Eyed Six, that's Hidden Steel out of Lebanon, like just north of the Lancaster. They're only a year old, but this is a 5-year-old Kentucky whiskey. It's straight corn, 100%. So these guys are only a year old, but they have a plethora of barrels being aged. And they sourced this from Kentucky because, I mean, a lot of people don't realize this, but all those really big name brands, majority of them are sourced whiskeys. They don't distill themselves. There's no way. This is all hearsay, but I heard that Tito's only has a 500-gallon still, which is not much bigger than Wiggle, but they're producing 3 million cases a year of vodka when Wiggle is producing maybe a couple thousand. So what I'm trying to say is that it's sourced.
Yeah.
It's just like
they got ghostwriters. It's like the ghostwriters in the
but
industry. Like,
but if you got $100 million to throw in a marketing campaign, then you become Tito's.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I mean, that's what it's all about. So I've heard stories about other distilleries trying to team up with other distilleries so they could just like they have the same label, same product, and they would just grow, but they would be in different parts of the country, so they could become something like that without having to spend as much money in a marketing campaign. But then you're dealing with a whole bunch of other partners, which half the reason why people do this is so they don't have to work for the man or work with anybody else. They do it for themselves.
That is delicious. Whiskey. The best things come from corn, man. Like if you need to like if Earth,
he's about to say something crazy.
An island. The only thing you need is a woman, a pig, and some corn. 2 pigs. That's about it, man. You can get by the rest of your life.
Okay.
Corn is everything, man.
Absolutely.
Corn syrup and cereal. Just think of chips. Corn is every fucking thing, man.
It is. It's what feeds the cows.
Yeah, gas. Like you feed the pig corn. You can make liquor off of it. You can gas a fucking engine off of it. Corn is everything, man. Corn and pigs.
So our takeaway from today's episode is corn is everything, and you can apparently you can get the privatized state store, sorta.
Sorta.
You can hustle.
But you gotta wait till Christian does it first.
Yeah, because if you do, then I'm not going to tell you what happens next.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
No. That's up. So, shit, we got to ask you one more question. We got to get out of here. Where can they find you? Let's do that. That's the final question.
PennsylvanianLibations.com, Facebook, Instagram. I'm a little bit on Twitter, but I mean, mostly find me there. But when it comes down to the bars and restaurants in Pittsburgh, it's up to you to find it. It's ask for local. I mean, even if it's something that I don't carry, Wiggles has amazing products, great things. Maggie's the same thing. Boyd and Blair, same thing. But I mean, ask for a bigger project of asking what's local. So I've been trying to work with the Pittsburgh restaurants and bars to kind of identify it with a Keystone symbol next to the drinks. So kind of keep an eye out for that too. But if you see something different on a shelf, ask what it is, see if it's Pennsylvania.
I think you should do that in general, even when you're traveling. Always, just try to, go local, man. Like, don't go to your chain restaurants. Why are you on vacation eating at Wendy's, man? Go find something local, find something that you can't get anywhere else. If you go into a bar, ask them what their local beer is. Like, that's the best, you know what I mean? Like, the bullshit. And again, support local. That's all we do here at Drinking Partners.
That's our mission is to support local. So, in that vein, Dave, tell them where they can find us.
You can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspot. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. And you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod.
Thank you to our guest, Christian Simmons, for the knowledge, the alcohol, the feeling that I have right now. I'm floating right now. And this is all good alcohol. Look out for him. Look out for what he's doing. Look out for his companies, his brands. All good stuff, all stuff that you may or may not have heard of. But if you're not familiar, get familiar. And as always, Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family. And we out of here.
Podcast.